I'm high, so high. I'm high, so high. I smoke the best you never tried before. The shit you see in magazines, Photoshop from the block. Looks like it's beyond belief that Cali weed, the type you only see in dreams. Mean green, back to life, passing me a Swiss of sweet. That smoking marijuana shit that sinks me in my seat. Weed that gets me singing every time I start to hear a beat. That type that got me out of town, smell that got me copping pound. Chronic got me thinking that this how marijuana sounds. I'm high, you don't wanna mess with me. Above the sky where everybody ought to be. That's right, no lie. I'm rolling up a grip of weed. If you don't really like it, then get the hell away from me. I'm high. You don't wanna mess with me. Above the sky where everybody ought to be. That's right, no lie. I'm rolling up a grip of. If you don't really like it, then get the hell away from me. Light 'em up. I'm high above. In the clouds where I stay with smoke signals coming out. Everywhere I go, there's always some to smoke. There's always some to puff. There's always some to roll. With girls that wake and bake, with joints in perfect shape, that ain't afraid to hold. The ones with Mary Jane, I'm into smoking Buddha. I'm trying to show you love. Feels like the perfect high. Feels like we high above and deep into a session, inhaling several blessings. I take my chronic cough with me everywhere I'm going, and this one's really loud. I've smoked 1,000,000 pounds. The chronic got me thinking this how marijuana sounds. I'm high. You don't wanna mess with me. Above the sky where everybody ought to be. That's right, no lie. I'm rolling up a grip of weed. If you don't really like it, then get the hell away from me. I'm high. You don't wanna mess with me. Above the sky where everybody ought to be. That's right, no lie. I'm rolling up a grip of. If you don't really like it, then get the hell away from me.
What up, everybody? Holy shit, I fucked up like I always do. We are about to get down with this video that we got here, and I hope y'all are ready, because, you know, a lot of he said, she said has been going on for a while now.
You gonna do Facebook?
No.
No? Okay, cool.
A lot of he said, she said's been going on for a while now. And I think it's about time that the truth gets put out there the way that it should be put out there. So with that being said, we are going to wait for a few minutes. As you can tell, that fucking counter is going crazy on here. Like, this shit is blaming. Boom, 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 boom. This shit that got posted up fucking 35 minutes ago. So we are going to get down with it. We are going to talk about it. We are going to be open about it. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their right to their opinion. I do know them on a personal level, all of them on a personal level. Even those who have passed away, like Big Bert, may he rest in peace. You know, Kid fucking Frost, a lot of them who have passed away, I know them on a personal level. But with that being said, we're going to jump on this. So, here we go. From the beginning.
SP in this bitch. We finna do this one more again, dog. To all my people, man. I love you. Pop, where they don't knock. Lil' homie got, bring it home, chop. Safe is in a safe spot. Mama cry, raindrop. Sorry, but I can't stop. I ain't going back to the same. I take a little hit off the killer Buddha. I mean a big hit off the killer Buddha. SP Max, baby, still a shooter. But I promise not to kill a hooter. I bought a great drink and I'll sip a two-for. Walking through the club.
I'll do a little snippet from his upcoming album. Kind of
Yeah.
fire.
It is.
A couple of months ago, Juan got told the world that I had died, that the prison guards found me in my cell like this. From what I understand, Gotti was talking to Carolyn, and they were talking about how people will believe anything you tell them. He told her, watch how everyone trips out.
Hey guys, it's Carly Coy, and I hate to interrupt this message so soon, but I'd rather show you exactly, word for word, how this thing went down. So Carolyn was not talking to Juan Gotti. She simply posted a general post that said this: people make up stories on social media about people they're jealous of because 98% of you will ignorantly believe it. Hashtag true facts. God.
No lie. I jumped on that shit and I was talking shit on that post. Even after Juan Gotti said what he said, and she's about to talk about that too.
Read her post and said this: LOL, love you sis. Watch this. These MFers believe anything. Text me when you see what I did. It's all because of this post, just to show how true this is. He uses the term MFers to describe you and me, the people that care about SPM, or just care about human life. So shortly after he posted this, oh my God, they just found SPM dead in his cell. Lord, say this isn't true. God, please, no. This guy is using God's name to make his post sound more real. Using God's name to hurt people with a lie. But you can see that Carolyn was not cool with what Juan Gotti did because she immediately commented this: everybody just proved my post that quick. She's basically telling the world that this was a made-up story, trying to point them to her post about made-up stories. But it went viral too fast, and a lot of people were affected by this. So now back to my dad.
And he did it. Not caring about all the people that this hurt. Mom, my daughter, my family, and everybody knows that my fans are also my family. Well, after he put out this rumor and everybody found out it was a lie, people were pissed. Gotti hurt them and they retaliated. White people retaliate these days, which is through the internet. So now Gotti's pissed off and talks shit to my sister because she posted pictures that Andrew Acuna drew. And he gets on the internet saying fuck Bell Powers and threatening Andrew Acuna. So I know Andrew will be at the Day of Unity and Gotti will be there. I don't want no drama because that shit is played out. So I call Gotti and he tells me that he only said that I had died because he wants people to appreciate me. He said, Los, all these people are hating on you. And I wanted them to feel how it would be if you were no longer with us. He kept asking me to forgive him. I told him, I said, look, man, all I give a fuck about is your health. I just want you to take care of yourself. Because, you know, he has a few health issues, and he was crying, I was crying. Because at this point, I'm just worried about my brother. And he told me how he was being attacked and how it was affecting his wife. He said that if he sees Angela Acuna, he's going to beat the shit out of him because those pictures that he drew made his wife cry. I said, my brother, what about my mother crying because she thinks I'm dead? What about everybody you hurt? So when you brought this to yourself, you hurt a lot of people, yet you don't want to feel any repercussion from it. So now he's out there doing interviews saying how he was there and saw me having sex with underage girls. My daughter played me an interview, and the last thing I heard about Gotti was that his wife kicked him out the house and that he was just not in a good place. And all I want for this brother is the best. He will learn, just like everyone else throughout my entire life, that he cannot stop the mission, movement, Mexican. But let me explain something real quick. Because Gotti isn't focused on hurting me. For him, SPM is in prison. I'm out of sight, out of mind. I'm out the picture. What Gotti is trying to do is hurt you, fans. Because ever since he said that bullshit of me being dead, the fans have continued to attack him. Notice the first thing he said on this interview, oh man, SPM fans, man, y'all are gonna trip out like I'm about to get y'all's head up. You know, whatever he says, it's something about the fans. He wants to hurt you because people cannot stand how loyal, how dedicated our fans are. As far as what Gotti said about me sleeping with underage girls, how I slept with a 14-year-old and lost my bond, how I was sent to a rehab for sex offenders or some sex-related rehab. I had initially lost my bond because they said I had cocaine in my system. I got my bond reinstated because my lawyer had a private drug testing facility test me and I was clean. So their attempt to take my bond failed. Then, not long after, I did an interview with the newspaper, and I said that I sip syrup daily and all this dumb shit I said. It was just words. But the judge ordered me to a substance abuse rehab in Kerrville, Texas, right near San Antonio. You will see everything I'm saying through official court documents. They did this to get me off the streets. And I will show you the underhanded moves they made to take my bond a second time. It was while I was in this rehab that my bond was revoked. Two girls that Gotti talked about, the reason I lost my bond. One was 14, the other was 17. I did not pick them up. They were calling my old number, which that phone constantly rang day and night. So I gave that phone to one of my homeboys. I had a new number by then. The judge knew the story was false. He was very likely part of the whole thing to take my bond and lock me up. But one thing I want people to notice, none of those girls filed for any type of lawsuit against me because they knew they wouldn't win. If any of that shit was true, I promise you, they would have went for the money. They were most likely in some type of trouble, unrelated to my case, and the DAs made deals with them in exchange for their testimony, and you will see how the girl that set up the revoking of my bond had sold X to an undercover cop. It's all in the transcript. She was in trouble.
Hey guys, it's Carly Coy, SPM's daughter, and once again I'm interrupting this response to show you a little of what my dad is talking about here. He speaks about a setup about a girl who was in trouble and helped the DA to get his bond revoked. So let's go to the official court transcripts, which is exactly what was said and done in my dad's trial. Please understand that the transcripts will not say, hey, look, we set up SPM. You have to think a little for yourself about what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and what is more than just a coincidence. We'll go to volume 20 of 31, where the DA, Miss Andrews, is questioning Deputy Sheriff Jeff Thomas, who was an undercover cop. Okay, and as an undercover officer, what kind of things would you do and investigate? Our primary action, we were a proactive group. We would go out and seek narcotics violators that were actually distributing street level all the way to mid-level to high-level narcotics. And do you remember your time as an undercover narcotics officer? Did you have occasion to come into contact with Carlos Coy? Yes, ma'am, I did. Do you see him in the courtroom today? Yes, ma'am. Can you please identify him? He's wearing a white long sleeve shirt with a goatee. Okay, and is that the same person that you came into contact with while you were an undercover narcotics officer? Yes, ma'am. Okay, before you first came into contact with Carlos Coy, did you know who he was or that he was this rapper? No, ma'am. Okay, how did you come into contact with him? We were doing an ongoing investigation at Rick's Cabaret on the Gulf Freeway, and I was actually making purchases from several topless dancers at this location. Okay, so pursuant to another investigation, you were working undercover in Rick's Cabaret, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And is that where you met Carlos Coy? Yes. How did you meet Carlos Coy? I was purchasing some ecstasy from a girl that I know as Carrie, and Carrie pretty much he was sitting at the table right next to me and pretty much introduced us. About when was that? It's going to be in January of 2001. Okay, now, Carrie introduced you to Carlos Coy, who was sitting at the next table, and what were the substances of your conversation with him? I had asked Carrie for if she could get me some cocaine that night, and she stated that she couldn't. The only thing she could provide for me is some ecstasy pills. Okay, and were you able to get set up with a cocaine deal? No, ma'am. Just the ecstasy that night. This undercover cop purchased ecstasy from a girl named Carrie Canales, a 19-year-old stripper who was working at Rick's Cabaret in January of 2001. Let's go to the same volume, 20 of 31, where a girl named Lindsay Lindquist is being questioned by DA Miss Onken. Lindsay was the 14-year-old who played a part in getting my dad's bond revoked. Let's see how she came into the picture. Okay, now Lindsay, do you know an individual by the name of Carlos Coy? Yes, ma'am. Do you see him in the courtroom today? Yes, ma'am. Could you point him out and describe what he's wearing? He's right there, and he's wearing a white shirt. Miss Onken says, Your Honor, if the record could reflect, the witness has identified the defendant. The judge says, all right. Miss Onken says, now Lindsay, when did you first meet or talk to Carlos Coy? In February, at the beginning of February. Okay, did you ever talk to him on the phone before that? Yes, in December or January. Okay, and you talked to him on the phone. Well, now, how did you happen to talk to Carlos Coy on the phone if you had never met him before? Because I took his cell phone number out of a friend of mine's cell phone. And what's the name of the friend of yours whose cell phone you got it out of? Carrie Canales. First of all, guys, they can't flat out say that Carrie Canales gave my dad's phone number to a 14-year-old right after she sold X to an undercover cop. That would look suspicious as hell. So these genius DAs had the 14-year-old say that she took the number out of Carrie's phone. But in a minute, you will see that Carrie was involved in the whole thing. The ginormous question is, how is it that the same girl that gets busted selling X in a strip club is the same girl who gave my dad's number to a 14-year-old? And when you hear the ridiculous story that the 14-year-old said about being with SPM, you will never look at our justice system the same. They knew her story was fraud. I'm going to pick up where I left off from this testimony, but this time I'll go further because I want to show you a few more things. And what's the name of the friend of yours whose cell phone you got it out of? Carrie Canales. Okay, and was she a friend of his? Yes, ma'am. And is she a lot older than you? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, how old is she? 19. The question here is, what is a 19-year-old stripper doing being friends with a 14-year-old? How does that happen? Truth is that Carrie Canales, the stripper, gave my dad's old phone number to Lindsay Lindquist, the 14-year-old. Carrie told Lindsay to say she was 18 years old so that some guys associated with Dope House could pick her up. Lindsay was with a 17-year-old named Candace Ashford. And Lindsay and Candace did get picked up on the night in question. They went to a hotel of which my dad did not stay. And at that hotel, Lindsay took a stack of brochures from the lobby. She took the hotel key and whatever else she could take to prove that she was at that hotel. The next day, she brought back those brochures and the hotel key to the DA's investigator. That was the so-called evidence they had, along with a made-up story of how she slept with SPM. And with that, they took my dad's bond and he never saw freedom again.
Yep.
I want to show you a little of Candace Ashford's testimony, the 17-year-old that was with Lindsay Lindquist that night. It shows that Carrie Canales was part of this plot the whole way. All right, Miss Ashford, before the events that you testified here about, you'd never met Carlos, correct?
Nope.
No, sir. You didn't know who he was? No, sir. And you knew from your friendship that Lindsay, that she was talking with somebody that she claimed to be the South Park Mexican, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You didn't talk to him on the phone, right? No, sir. So when you met the person you thought was Carlos Coy, you had no idea if this was actually him or not, did you? No, sir. Since then, you've seen Carlos on TV. Yes, sir. Have you seen any CD covers with him on it? Yes, sir. So as you sit here today, you know that the gentleman seated to my right is the person you've known as South Park Mexican? Yes, sir. During these events that you're talking about, you recall Miss Lindquist making a statement when she was asked how old she was, right? Yes, sir. She said she was 18 years old, didn't she? Yes, sir. And she said that more than once? Yes, sir. She said it to more than just one person that night, right? Yes, sir. You knew that wasn't true? Yes, sir. She made some statements in front of you about this phone call to Carlos. Do you remember when that was? When she was talking on the phone, you were around and I believe Carrie was there? Yes, sir. See, guys, Carrie was quietly in the background, supervising this whole plot. She was there when Lindsay was asking to be picked up and telling Lindsay to say that she was 18. Sadly, the plan worked, and my dad's bond was revoked, even though he did not sleep with that girl. Plan also worked for Carrie Canales, because she never did one day in jail for selling X to that undercover cop. All charges were dropped. As far as Candace Ashford, the 17-year-old, I do not think she was a part of this plot. because a few years ago she wrote my dad a heartbreaking letter. She included a lot of her own personal tragedies, but I don't know if she'd want me to share all that. I'm just gonna show you some eye-opening things she said concerning my dad's situation. My testimony for Carlos Coy's freedom. Background information: Candace Dawn Ashford, birth date 8/5/1984, birthplace Southeast Houston Memorial Hospital, Houston, Texas. Mother Catherine Ashford Mingle. I'm not really sure what the last name says for her mother. Born in New York. My mother and father lived in Edgebrook, Southeast Houston around the time I was conceived, then Pasadena, Texas, so around 15 minutes from where Carlos Coy is from. October 2000, I was arrested for terroristic threat and assault causing bodily injury. October 13th, 2000, arrested for battery and running away. September 2001, now 17, which in the state of Texas, considered an adult, you go to jail. Arrested for Class A with bodily injury on my mom. Earlier, my dad spoke about how the DA finds people who are in some kind of trouble and uses that to their advantage. No doubt this girl was in all kinds of mess, but let me continue. Montgomery County Sheriff or officer came to my friend's house. Nobody knew I was there. He hands me a subpoena and says, you have two choices here. Choice one, go to court and testify that I knew that Carlos Coy, SPM, knew Lindsay's age and that she told him she wasn't 18. Or choice number two, if I did not go and say exactly that, I would be charged with accessory to statutory rape and he would make sure I spend my life in prison. You see, guys, a lot of times cops and DAs use these scare tactics to get people to say what they want them to say. Let's go to the next page. So I go to the courthouse with him, taking me there, him, sheriff, he goes over what I'm to say. I go on the stand. The prosecutor tells me to point out Mr. Carlos Coy to her, so I did. No, the only reason I knew what he looked like is because the sheriff showed me his picture. I left the day of his sentencing. He, sheriff, took me back to the court. Please, if no justice for me, may the Coy family get to reunite with their loved one. Sincerely, Candace A. And then she gives her phone number. This girl didn't even know what my dad looked like. They just showed her a picture so that she could point him out. And before that, they rehearsed with her on what they wanted her to say. My people,
it's always been a setup. That's what people don't understand. This whole thing has always been a fucking setup.
This is not a movie. This is real deal criminal activity, delivered by a system that we've been taught to trust. But when that system is afraid of the power and influence of someone they feel is a threat, they will go above and beyond to stop him. That's facts. Well, that's it for me. I have much more to show you during the system series. It is on the way, so be ready for that. Now, back to the SP.
Again, that whole situation was so the DAs and that crooked-ass judge could get me off the streets, and they accomplished their goal. I can show you better than I can tell you. And I know I've talked about this system series for a long time, but I was hoping to make parole. And the last thing the parole board wants to hear is that an inmate is innocent. Yes, I had a child, my first baby, The girl who lied about her age. Even her biological mother lied about her age. I believe she was of age, and that's why I didn't care if she got pregnant or not. If the world can't forgive me, let him die full of hate. But I will never regret my son. He's amazing. I love him more than words can describe. God knew him even before the world was formed. It's like he knew you and me before this world was ever created.
Hell yeah.
You hear these guys out there on the internet talking mad shit about me. These guys out there that have huge followings just by being on my dick. Don't know shit about me, but choose to divide people just so they can feel relevant. Now, I'm almost done, and I'm gonna release a song right now that talks about the name. That is Carlos Coy. I'm telling you, my whole life, people have loved the taste of Carlos Coy in their mouth. Because when they talk shit about me, it makes them feel like somehow, in some way, we are on the same playing field. But hatred is weak. It's cowardly. And it's for men that are hoes. I'm not calling you no name, my brother. I'm only explaining the position you play.
Yo.
This little song right here is called Out of View. Love you, my people. I'm out. Peace.
Is red. The dope house boys show love instead. We put away the rags. And I praise my fans, cause they love me even when they saw me saving cans. It takes a man to hold a baby's hand and teach him hate-free tactics in a crazy land. She in 3rd grade now and she growing so quick. If I chase a TV channel, she be throwing a fit. My little girl's the boss and I ain't gon' front for no one. If she tell me that she hungry, I'ma jump like Jordan. No more blunts to choke on with my son watching Voltron. This little league games and my mom is the coach. Mom at church and my cohons. No more will I prolong homework with Carly and we learning about protons. My homies are so gone, it's like we have no bond. But I love them and in my eyes they can do no wrong. So life just goes on with homemade studios. Still wreck mics and I still tell stupid jokes. But I'm paid for the things that I write. And every song that I speak got a piece of my life. My life, my life. All the love I have for you in my heart, but out of you, and it's true, true. Why they mouthing my name? What a powerful thing. Mention low, sinking some views, brother. In the end, you lose, and it's true, true. Why they mouthing my name? What a powerful thing.
Yo, that's gonna be a slap in Juan Gotti's face. That is a straight slap in his fucking face. Like, neta. Holy shit. Did they turn off the comments on this shit? Yes. They had to have. Oh, there they are. So many people got something to say regardless of the institution practice they put in play. Thank you, my friend. We love you, SPM. Free the Max. Some people needed to hear it. Free SPM. Malamon for SPM. Everybody's just saying. One guy talks about SPM. But when I was 16, I seen him flirting with underage girls in an underage Facebook dating group. One guy using dope house. Pretty much everybody just talking shit. He literally just slapped you in the face, one guy, with a shitload of kindness. He literally says it. He don't give a fuck if you hate him. And no matter how bad you do, he's never gonna see you do wrong. So you're just taking advantage of someone. Like, that just royally makes you even look a million times worse than what you did before. You honestly thought that he was gonna sit there and make a diss track. No, he didn't. And if anybody really knows SPM like that, you would know that he wouldn't make a diss track like that. He'd put the truth out there. He'd bring the truth to light. And that's exactly what he did. And I kept telling everybody about this, and everybody's like, you're fucking backing up a pedophile and blah, blah, blah. No, it's because I have the opportunity of knowing this person. Every time he would come down to the fucking valley to do shows here in McAllen, Texas, I was there. I would chill with them at the after parties, like, the hotels and shit, like, come on, you guys. It's a ritual. It was a thing, overall. So many stories. But I wanted to come on here and do this live. And state my opinion. And let it be known. And say this with so much pride. I fucking told you so. Ah. Anyway, y'all keep smiling, keep blazing, keep doing what y'all do. And until then, a ratos.
What's up, man?
Yo, what's up, man? What's up, man? What's up, y'all? What's been up, man? What's been up? I'm chilling. I see y'all blazing. Go down. I'm gonna hit it, man. But let me ask you, hey, man, let me ask you a question right quick, y'all. On the real. What's up? Y'all really, I know I smell the bud, but do y'all really like to get high?
Hell yeah.
No, I'm saying you really like to get high, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm glad y'all like to get high. Y'all wanna know why?
Why is it?
Cause it's such a good feeling to know you get high. It's such a happy feeling. It's growing inside. So when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll smoke a fat blunt today. It's such a good feeling. A very good feeling to know you get high. And I'll be back when the day is through. And I'll have some more marijuana for you. And you have things you want to smoke about. I will too.